Hi everyone, I'm Jert, and this video is a preview of the nearly 1 hour Harlequin Facts video. For that reason, it won't be as long, but hey, I gathered some questions that were asked about Harlequin while I was finishing the longer video, which you can listen to next. And if you're wondering why the video is nearly an hour instead of a full hour of facts, it's because you didn't reach the goal. But I'll still be bringing content to the channel in the meantime. But before we get into the video, I have an important message. Before we start this video, I want to step out of character for a moment and tell you about something very serious that happened in my country. For those who don't know, I'm Colombian, and my country has just been hit by an earthquake. Thankfully, I'm okay, since I wasn't in the area where the epicenter was when it happened. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for other people who lost their homes. So, if you'd like to help, you can do so through this charity Ko-fi that a fellow influencer is using to collect funds for people affected by the earthquake. With that said, let's get into the video. For Harlequin's birthday, an illustration was also made in collaboration with Chun-Ji Studio, which is the one you're seeing on screen right now, and since I have the opportunity, I might as well talk about it. If you look closely and compare Harlequin's cake to the illustration of Pierrot's cake, you'll notice that it's the exact same cake. This was actually a mistake, and Neko realized it sometime later, so they made this illustration of Harlequin being served a new cake, this time, a lemon cake, which I think he likes more. We also have this other illustration celebrating his birthday, where we can see all the members of Freak Circus in their tiny forms, similar to what we saw in Pierrot's birthday illustration. The most important thing to point out about this image is that the ticket taker is tied to one of Harlequin's fingers. It seems like those two don't get along very well either. We can also see an intimidated MC hiding behind Harlequin's hands, and finally, a pigeon-shaped doctor for some reason. I have a feeling this is a joke because of the shape of his mask, since it looks very similar to a bird. Now, let's move on to the questions and answers that were made for Harlequin, starting with some general questions. For Harlequin, is there something you also wanted to do outside of the circus? Or at least do something while not completely covered up by your uniform? Harlequin replied, "Perhaps I'd do to the beach, it sounds like fun, so long as I am not slowly cooking inside this uniform." To Harlequin, "Do you think hate is much sweeter than love?" Harlequin answered, "Well, they don't call it sweet revenge for nothing, do they?" To Harlequin and Pierrot, "Can you guys sing? If so, I would love to sing with you guys." Harlequin replied, "It's not one of my strongest skills, but I do sing from time to time, especially during performances in my tent." Pierrot, "He barely even uses that raspy voice of his. There is no way he could manage anything worth listening to." For Harlequin, "What would be your ideal date?" Harlequin answered, "That hadn't occurred to me, though I can think of far more interesting directions this could take." To Harlequin, "Did you fall from heaven, baby girl? Because it looks like you're landed on your face." Harlequin replied, "Heaven, oh please? They would never let me back in after all. You have heard the story of heaven's most beautiful fallen angel, haven't you?" To Harlequin, "Is the bow gesture you sometimes make to MC part of your character, or does it have another reason?" Harlequin answered, I suppose certain gestures become rather memorable, don't they, especially when I bow just for you." To Harlequin, "Psst, hey, we'll offer you one favor if you can tell me how Pierrot learned my personal information and where I live." Harlequin replied, "You don't usually look back when you are heading home, do you? Any of us could have notices that easily. Now, come back after nightfall and grant me my favor." Now, let's move on to the next section, which is to Harlequin, a rather self-indulgent question on my behalf. "But since your first language is Portuguese, I wonder if we could have a conversation while I speak Spanish and Illusion. I think it would be more intimate to speak our mother tongues. And I'd love to share our country's traditions." Harlequin replied, "I speak Brazilian Portuguese. Spanish isn't that difficult for us, but can you keep up with the conversation? I am going to enjoy watching you try." To Harlequin, "I love so much, you're literally my top 5 characters. Anyways, how would you react if MC was obsessed with you like Pierrot is with MC?" Harlequin answered, "Oh, that would be quite unexpected but very much in my favor. We could have a lot of fun. I did pretend not to hear your loud little footsteps chasing after me." To Harlequin again, "I'm sorry, I just love him so much. Can I give you another hug?" "Please, I will do anything for more hugs." Harlequin replied, Could you ask Pierrot to step away? Tell him to keep his distance and I might even let you have a hug. Though, you know my hands do have a tendency to slip." To either Harlequin or Pierrot, would it frustrate you if I am not interested in romance, desire, and tend to interpret gestures as friendly or odd rather than intimate? Harlequin answered, then I suppose I can kiss you the way close friends do. It wouldn't be romantic in your eyes, right? Merely an affectionate little indulgence between friends. You said you were upfront about what you wanted, unlike Pierrot. So if you did be willing to answer, what are you looking forward to? What you will get from us, or the hatred Pierrot will have for you? Harlequin replied, you really don't get it yet? I'm not asking for much. Just you, all of you tell me. If I whispered that in your ear, would you give yourself to me willingly? To Harlequin, what was your very first thought when us per megacoulomb showed concern when Pierrot harmed you? Harlequin answered, perhaps you hit your head when you ran outside. To Harlequin, I am currently 2 miles from your location, driving at 80 miles per hour. How long will it take me to hit you with my truck? 2 miles at that speed? How eager? Tell me, will you still be so confident once I am the one waiting for you? Go ahead, try it. My first question is to Harlequin, can I take you home with me? Pretty please? Harlequin replied, oh, you will regret that choice. If you invite me in, I won't leave until the sun comes up. Whoever wants to answer, if our relationship ever gets serious, you will have to meet my family. What would you do in that case? Harlequin answered, you were imagining something rather far-fetched, huh? Your family wouldn't appreciate meeting us, not in the slightest. I am quite certain of that. This one is for Harlequin. I heard that you love pink ticket guests, and well, I am a bit curious since I started off with a pink one. What makes you like the pink ticket guests so much? Harlequin replied, oh, you certainly wouldn't want to know, dear one. Perhaps one day I could show you, if you were brave enough to ask again when you were at the circus. For Harlequin, if I took your hand and said the same thing you said to me, did you think about me too, or am I the only fool caught under your spell? What would you say? Harlequin answered, if I took your hand, I wouldn't need words. I did let you feel it for yourself, and oh dear one, I love how easily your body gives you away. Harlequin jester, or anyone who wishes to answer what would be thought on an MC that's pretty good at art like sketches and doodles a lot. Harlequin replied, oh, I have a feeling you'd enjoy drawing me. I am very good model, care to try? Harlequin, seeing that you seemed slightly surprised by the last hug, I was curious, do you like hugs or any kind of display of affection? Are you implying you want to hug me? I wouldn't mind, but if your curious little hands to start to wander, mine will too. If you gave Harlequin a Christmas present and managed to pick something he'd actually like, he would appreciate the thoughtfulness. Though, in his own way, he'd make it clear that you didn't have to go out of your way to do anything extra.
The next section focuses on questions people ask Neko about Harlequin. Pierrot is so adamant of keeping his clothes on. Meanwhile, Harlequin has no problem with removing quite a lot. Does this just mean Harlequin is more of a risk-taker, rule-breaker? Or does he just find a way to bend the rules by keeping it dark so we can't see? But he can still do as he pleases. Neko replied, Harlequin is great at bending the rules, but let me open your eyes. Pierrot isn't so strict about his clothing just because of gesture rules. He just doesn't want to scare you. After they have given the pins, like heart and start respectively, are they allowed to touch move theirs again? Clearly, they don't seem to be allowed to interfere with each other. But if, for example, MC removes it, can it be put back by them or taken back? Can the clown change the location of their pin? That kind of drill. Neko answered, yeah, the pins can be moved around and all that, but none of them remove someone else's pin. That's against the rules. They can place them without any problem, though. Hi, Neko. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. My question is for you. What do you think of Harlequin? And from your perspective as a creator, what would be the most authentic way for a viewer or even another character to establish more open communication with him? And for Harlequin, Merry Christmas. I will always support you. Neko replied, connection. Just like with Jester, words won't get you very far with him. Make him laugh, show him he is not strange or scary, and you are already off to a good start.
This section shows the personality tests that Harlequin was put through by Neko, who, as his creator, answered on his behalf. The first personality test begins with this question. What is the most effective form of love language for each of them? Neko replied, oh, you mean that Gary Chapman thing? Then maybe something like this. Harlequin, quality time. If you want to win over someone whose love language is quality time, it's all about dedicating time to that person. Some examples are having a conversation without distractions, going for a walk together, sharing a meal while giving each other your full attention, doing activities together as a couple or as a family. What matters here isn't the amount of time, but the quality of the attention. If you want to know the love languages of the other members of the circus, I have a video on my YouTube channel called All of Their Love Languages, where I go over each of their love languages, along with some other interesting facts. Neko gave Harlequin a psychological test called the MBTI test, and for those who haven't heard of it before, I'll leave you with a clip from the previous 1-hour Pierrot video where I explained what it is. After that, I'll tell you what Harlequin got on the test.
This test was created by Catherine Cook Briggs and her daughter Isabel Briggs Myers. Catherine Briggs was very interested in understanding the differences between people. Later, her daughter Isabel Briggs Myers worked with her to develop a system that classified personality types. Their work was inspired by the ideas of the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. The test works by attempting to classify people into 16 different types based on how they think, make decisions, and relate to the world. It is based on 4 pairs of preferences. If you want, you can also take this test as the video progresses to see what you get and later discover what Pierrot got. Answer these 4 simple questions and write them down on a piece of paper. The A. Extroversion, or I. Introversion. Do you get energy from being with other people, or do you get energy from being alone? If you get energy from being with others, choose E. If you get energy from being alone, choose I. Next question. S. Sensing, or N. Intuition. Do you prefer concrete facts or ideas and possibilities? If you prefer concrete facts, choose S. If you prefer ideas and possibilities, choose N. The third question. T. Thinking, or F. Feeling. Do you make decisions based more on logic or on values and emotions? If you make decisions based on logic, choose T. If you make decisions based on values and emotions, choose A. Finally, J. Judging, or P. Perceiving. Do you prefer planning or flexibility? If you prefer planning, choose J. If you prefer flexibility, choose P. By combining these letters, you get 16 different personality types or combinations. For example, INTJ means a person is strategic, independent, and planning-oriented. INFP means a person is idealistic, creative, and sensitive. ENTP means a person is innovative, curious, and enjoys debating. ESFJ means a person is sociable, cooperative, and attentive to others. What did you get in this personality test? Leave it in the comments. I'll try to reply to the first 10 comments explaining what each result means, but I might respond to more if I have time, although I wouldn't risk it.
Now that you've seen the informative clip with my old, sexy voice, which I love way more than the one I'm currently using, but I still can't renew it because a lot has happened in my life that has brought along many expenses, I can tell you that, in Harlequin's case, when Neko put him through this test, answering on his behalf because he is the creator, the result was that he would be an ESTP, entrepreneur. This is a personality type characterized by traits of extroversion, observation, thinking, and prospecting. They tend to be energetic and proactive, skillfully handling whatever situation comes their way. They love discovering opportunities in life, whether by socializing with others or through more personal projects. There is a disclaimer from Neko regarding this, which says, "Keep in mind that we understand that the MBTI personality assessment, like many other personality classifications or labels, is not scientifically supported and should be taken with a certain degree of caution. Even so, it can be a fun way to explore the characters." According to Neko, Harlequin is from central western Brazil, near the southwest, and he only spent part of his childhood there. With that information in mind, the following question was asked in relation to it. Since Pierrot and Harlequin met each other first, did they stay together and travel, or did they part and soon meet again in a different area? Neko replied, both had encounters with other members of the circus, but they simply walked away suspiciously. When they met Harlequin, they got along reasonably well and spent some time together in the one area before they started moving on. Also, were they scared of each other when they met as kids? Like for example, Pierrot was bigger and they got scared of his size, until they were okay with him. Neko answered, both had traits that frightened the other. Harlequin was always more suspicious and took a while to calm down around Pierrot. What was Harlequin family like? You don't have to specify much. I know this might be a little risky question. Neko replied he had good parents, but they weren't very attentive. and they didn't really know how to be parents. Sorry if that doesn't make sense, but there isn't much I can say about it right now. So, we know that Pierrot and Harlequin were the first members of the circus to meet. Would they both have been considered children at that time, or were they already young adults? And how did their friendship begin, if I may ask? Neko answered. Hello. They were just kids back then. They met by chance when Pierrot was, fishing. They just stared at each other until one of them took the first step and started talking. Now let's move on to the next section, which is